Today I'm going to tell you a story to answer the question why you shouldn't be a Jehovah's Witness. Once upon a time there was a girl named Pearl. Asterisk. Footnote. Some names have been changed to protect the innocent. Pearl, even from a young age, didn't get along well with others because she always acted a little bit older. She was kind of snooty. So people would sometimes stray away from her and didn't really want to talk to her. At least from the guy's viewpoint, we didn't want to talk to her. A lot of girls didn't either. When Pearl was younger, her family, her mother and her father, made regular visits to the meetings. And when I mean regular visits, because every time you go to a meeting it's a fucking visit, because apparently it's not that it's commanded that you have to. It would just be good to get the spiritual food, whatever. They made regular visits to the meetings, and they were there every single night. We had Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday meetings, and then they were always out on Saturdays. In fact, her mother was a pioneer. She even began pioneering at a young age. When Pearl turned 9, she got baptized. She was able to answer roughly 122 questions put forward to her by elders, and she qualified for baptism. When Pearl turned, actually, before the next stage in Pearl's life, what happened was her mother had an affair with a brother. So when her mother had an affair with this brother, and they both were privately reproved, Pearl's father stopped being so regular at the meetings. He didn't show up all the time. He started working a lot. So we didn't really get to see him a lot. And everyone just went about their day. Pearl remained the same person, kind of withdrawn from people. When Pearl turned 14, something life-changing happened to her. When this happened, her father disassociated himself. We ended up getting a talk later on that week describing what disassociation was. I had never heard of it. I never actually known anyone to be disassociated. My mom had to explain it to me, and it's a separation from God's Spirit-directed organization, and it's a personal choice. No one ever kicks you out. He chose to leave. So everyone looked at her father. Bad. He was not a good person. He was abandoning his family spiritually, not being there to take the lead and things like that. A few years after that, about 4 years after that actually, what happened was her father started coming back. It was out the blue, no one really expected it, and he was reassociated. Everyone was happy to have him around and everything. So was Pearl. A couple years after that, what happened was me and my wife ended up moving from the congregation, and Pearl got married. Now, it seems like there's a happy ending to that story, but let me give you some in between with all that. After she got baptized at 9, Pearl was molested when she was around 13 or 14 years old. This was the same time that her father was disassociated. It wasn't her father who was doing the molesting. It was the husband of a baptized sister in the congregation. He wasn't a brother, but he was always at all the functions and all the gatherings, always playing ball, always offering to give people rides, just always just really nice. In fact, when he first started coming, he had a full beard, and then eventually the entire thing was gone, and he was bald-faced, and so that's how everyone knew he was making spiritual progress. When her father reassociated himself, that was when that was when the man, the husband of the baptized sister, disappeared. You see, Pearl's father disassociated himself because the elders refused to go to the authorities when Pearl said that she had been molested. There was only one witness, and the other person was denying it anyway. Pearl's father really believed that some sort of investigation should be done, but the elders didn't agree. So, because he disagreed with what they were doing and their process and their policies, he disassociated himself. He was an honorable, noble man. Yet the entire congregation looked down on him. He was dead in their eyes because he was disassociated. He decided to go to the authorities himself. And within that 4-year span, for about 4 or 5 years, he ended up getting a conviction, and he got that man arrested, and that man was put away for a couple of years, actually. After he was gone for a couple of years, because no one actually knew what he was arrested for, he ended up coming back to the congregation, by the way. He didn't have a full beard this time, just a little bit. Just like enough. It wasn't a goatee, but he had something there. And everyone was happy that he was coming back. I was happy that he was coming back. Everyone was happy that he was coming back. That's because no one knew why he was gone in the first place. See, that information wasn't shared. Now, when Pearl got married, the reason why it was such a big deal was because she married someone who was 32 years old. And at this time, Pearl was 19. You see, do you not see where there should have been at least an issue? Maybe the brothers could have tried to slow down that wedding or investigated a little bit or something like that. Maybe if people had known what Pearl had been through, this wedding wouldn't have happened. Because it seemed that something was repeating here. Another older person was taking advantage of a younger person. But because he was baptized, and a brother in good standing, a ministerial servant in fact, that nothing could happen. That it was okay. He's going to take good care of her. And everyone sat back and let it happen. If she wasn't a Jehovah's Witness and was in, say, Baptist church or Seventh-day Adventist church, there were a lot of those in that area, this wouldn't have happened. I truly believe in my heart of hearts this wouldn't have happened. Because someone would have gone to the police. But when you're Jehovah's Witness, no one goes to the police. The brothers are very crafty with their words. They'll say things like, oh no, we have to go, we'll go to the authorities. You know, we have to follow the law. If that's what the law says, then we're going to follow the law. But not every state says that you have to go to the authorities. Because you have to be a big boy sometimes and make the tough decisions and decide that something wrong needs to be righted. Anyways, there's my video for why you shouldn't be a Jehovah's Witness. I hope this gets the point across. Badass out.